Elected Republicans, especially in the House of Representatives, never cease to amaze me. I couldn't imagine being a grown ass adult man supplicating myself day after day after day to someone like Donald Trump, who I know is guilty of multiple crimes. But that's what House Republicans on the Judiciary Committee did today. Jack Smith testified behind closed doors in a committee that is led by Republican Jim Jordan. They subpoenaed Jack Smith, Jim Jordan, who refused to honor or obey a subpoena himself to appear before the January 6th committee to talk about Donald Trump's crimes and his involvement in them. And Jack Smith indicted Donald Trump for several offenses in that case. Jack Smith indicted Donald Trump in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. And so they had Jack Smith testify today. And there may be a couple of true believers in there who think that Donald Trump is innocent and that he was railroaded and that the investigations brought by Jack Smith were an unwarranted witch hunt. But there's only maybe one or two. Jim Jordan knows Donald Trump is guilty. Jim Jordan allegedly participated in Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. And Jim Jordan went to law school. I still, to this day, I haven't been able to figure out if he actually took and passed the Ohio bar exam. But he knows that you're not allowed to keep classified documents when you leave office and then store them in boxes, unsecured, in a bathroom or on a stage in a ballroom in your social club where you hold events with large crowds. Jack Smith testifying today, and I mean, who knows? I should check out Fox News later on and see what they're saying. Who knows what Fox News is going to say? But the only thing that this is serving is bringing all of this up again. And which is why Jim Jordan and House Republicans demanded that this be a deposition instead of actual testimony to the committee that would be public and televised. Today's proceedings took place behind closed doors. But, you know, the quotes that are going around now, Jack Smith said that he had proof beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump engaged in various schemes to try to overturn the results of the 2020 election and that those were crimes. And he went through the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case and said that he had proof beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump intentionally retained classified documents that he was not entitled to keep and repeatedly obstructed justice in the government's efforts to get those documents back. You know, and he said that he prosecuted these cases based on facts and law, not on politics. You know, reporting from inside the room, there were some staffers who were doing some questioning, which is not uncommon for depositions. There were some members of Congress who were doing some questioning. But, you know, the reason why Jim Jordan decided to do this behind closed doors is so that news anchors have to read these quotes as opposed to there being video of Jack Smith saying, I had proof beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump engaged in multiple felonies in trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. And I had proof beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump improperly and intentionally retained classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and obstructed the government's efforts to get those documents back repeatedly, including 32 violations of the Espionage Act. It's crazy, you know, and it, I mean, Pam Bondi and Donald Trump and Todd Blanche have already fired everybody at the Department of Justice who was involved in Jack Smith's investigations and Bob Mueller's investigation. Kash Patel at the FBI has tried to fire every single FBI agent who was involved in those investigations and the January 6th investigations. And, you know, imagine if they'd put forth this much effort in releasing the Epstein files, which Donald Trump is probably on every single fucking page of. But it's, you know, Jack Smith remains quite restricted in what he is permitted to testify about, because all of those grand jury proceedings for both of those cases still remain confidential, and will, unless and until somebody files a motion with the court to get those transcripts and evidence unsealed. So there are a lot of questions that he can't answer. But one thing that Republicans seem to be focused on is the idea that Jack Smith did not have probable cause, or that the FBI did not have probable cause to raid Mar-a-Lago and execute a search warrant. And they're pointing to, you know, these kind of conflicting emails between FBI agents in the months before the search warrant was executed. It was executed in August of 2022, I think. And early in the case, there was some conflict there. But then in July of that year, the FBI got the surveillance tapes of Walt Nauta and another guy, you know, moving all of these boxes filled with classified documents all over Mar-a-Lago, video surveillance that Donald Trump tried to have destroyed. Obstruction, times two. And after that, FBI leadership congealed, everybody got on board, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we do have probable cause. And it's like the FBI didn't decide to just raid the place. FBI investigated, gave the results of their investigation to DOJ. DOJ wrote up a warrant request, presented it to an Article III federal judge, and the federal judge signed off on that and signed the search warrant. And most importantly, when that search warrant was executed, I think on August 7th or 8th of 2022, they found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of highly classified documents that the government had been trying to get back for more than a year, and that Donald Trump had lied to his own attorneys about, and he had lied to the National Archives about, and then he lied to the Department of Justice about, and he concealed them from his attorneys, he concealed them from investigators, he concealed them from FBI agents, and employed Walt Nauta and another guy at his club to move boxes around and hide them here and hide them there. But before that, they were just stored in a bathroom next to a gold toilet and stored in a ballroom where at Mar-a-Lago on the stage where they had events with hundreds of people while there were boxes of classified documents sitting on the stage. It's incredibly short-sighted. It's just incredibly short-sighted of Republicans to do this. I mean, they're doing it just to make Donald Trump happy, having completely and utterly sacrificed every single ounce of their own integrity in service to this person. I can't even imagine what it's like waking up every day, looking yourself in the mirror. I can't imagine it. I can't fathom what that must be like, because they all know that he is guilty. They all know that he did these things. They all know that he is a felon. They all know that he should be in prison. And it's only because of the widespread stupidity of the American electorate that he's not in prison, because we are a nation of fucking morons.